Croeso pawb to the games under £20 PSN sale. This sale is better than the Golden Week sale, so you're in for a treat. I've got over £270 worth of discounts for you, with some awesome games, so you can save yourself a lot of money and find yourself some cool new games to play. So if you like the sound of that, then why not subscribe, and you can find some cool games and save yourself a lot of money all the time. Okay, this sale ends on the 11th of May, so that'll be your last day to pick up these deals. Let's look at the games. Up first is A Knight's Quest. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and is on an 85% discount for the price of £2.99, which is really cheap. In this action-adventure, which is basically a Zelda ripoff, which no one could complain about, I don't think, you get to play as Rossi, who accidentally starts at the end of the world, and now sets out to solve puzzles, fight enemies, defeat huge bosses, and platform his way to saving the world, while unlocking spirit abilities to master fire, ice, and time along the way. This game has mixed reviews, but it looks really good to me. Like I said, it's a Zelda ripoff in all aspects, which is great because there's not many games like that outside of a Nintendo console. It may not be as good as a Zelda game, but at this price, if you like those sorts of games, why not take a look at it? You might have a lot of fun, you never know. It looks pretty good to me. And if you've never played a game like this before, then again at this price, you might want to take a chance on it. Like I said, it's got mixed reviews, but you can't expect too much for this price, and it's got big shoes to fill. So if you're not expecting too much, you might have a lot of fun with this game. Why not take a look? Our next game is Beautiful Desolation. It was released in 2021, so it's only a year old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £3.19, which is really cheap. And this version includes a free digital art book and the soundtrack as well, which is really wonderful of them to throw in stuff like that. In this point-and-click adventure, you and your brother have been flung into a futuristic era ruled by highly advanced technologies. So now you must explore a post-apocalyptic African world with over 40 fully voice-acted characters and full of many beautiful varied locations and factions. There's a lot of developers that like to make old-school inspired games, but you don't see many games like this. You see a lot of point-and-click adventures, but not with this isometric style. It's really cool and different to me, and I think if you like retro games, you'll probably really enjoy this. So why not take a look at it? It's definitely different, and that's a good thing to me. I think people could have a lot of fun with this. And hey, if you've never played a game like this before, like if you're under 50, then you might want to take a look at this, especially if you like retro games, or games that are a bit different than normal. I've seen a lot of people say that the world in this game is really great, and you get really immersed in it. So in any case, if you like any of what I've said, why not take a look at this game? It's different, and it might impress a lot of people. You never know. We have a JRPG next, Cyberdimension Neptunia 4, Goddesses Online. It was released in 2017, so it's 5 years old, and it's on a 70% discount for the price of £7.49, which is really good. In this unique game within a game, you play solo or in a 4-player online party as you control the goddesses to hack and slash through the world of Asgard to rescue the creators of Leangard. This may not be from one of the most famous JRPG series, but it looks like a really good game. If you're a fan of JRPGs and you're looking for another one to play, then I would say definitely take a look at this. It looks good enough to be considered at least. And hey, if you've never played a JRPG before, then I'm not sure if I'd recommend this, because you can get some AAA series that are about the same price as this, so you'd probably be better off starting with one of them instead. So take a look around, or subscribe and you won't miss them when they come on sale next. Next up, we have Dead Island Definitive Collection. It was released in 2016, so it's 5 years old, but they're much older games than that really. And they're on an 85% discount for the price of £2.99, which is a phenomenal deal, as it includes Dead Island 1 and 2 remastered, with all of the DLC plus the Retro Revenge spin-off as well. So you're getting 2 full AAA games, and a 3rd indie game as well, which is great value at this price. It's dirt cheap. In these first-person shooters, you wake up on an island resort in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, and now you must team up with the other survivors in order to gather resources and work together to survive and escape the island. I've played most of the first game of this, and it's really fun, especially if you play it with friends. It's a good laugh. You can play the whole game in co-op, and the second game especially is designed to be played in a 4-player co-op team, which is fantastic. If you really like zombie games, or if you've got a group of friends to play games with, you should definitely take a look at this. They're great games with some really cool co-op options. And if you've never played a zombie apocalypse first-person shooter before, you might want to check this out. It was really popular at the time, and people still love them now. They've got a really cool crafting melee system, and it's generally a lot of fun to play, with a pretty decent story as well. So if you like the sound of that, at this price, why not check them out? You're getting a lot of game for your money, and they're really good as well. We have a VR game next, Dream Match Tennis VR. It was released in 2018, so it's 4 years old, and it's on at least a 75% discount for the price of £2.99 or £1.79 with PS Plus, which is dirt cheap. In this game you get to experience a simple yet fun VR tennis game, with multiple stadiums, court types, single player and online multiplayer as well. So if you're a fan of Wii tennis, or you fancy trying out for some VR tennis, why not pick this game up? It may not be the best VR game ever made, but it's dirt cheap, so if you're a fan of tennis, you'll probably get some fun out of it at least, especially at parties or something. And hey, if you've never played a VR tennis game before, there's not a lot of them around, which is kind of surprising to me. It's a pretty simple game to make. I mean, there's like a million ping pong games, right? But hey, if you like the sound of it, at this price, why not check it out? You're not risking a lot of money, and you'll probably get some fun out of it. We have a racing game next, FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and is on at least an 80% discount for the price of £4.99 or £3.74 with PS Plus, which is really cheap. This game uses the WRC Games KT game engine, and offers a unique, officially sponsored racing experience, with over 45 trucks, 14 circuits, 5 solo and 2-player multiplayer game modes, 5 online 8-player multiplayer modes, and 20 race teams, including the championship's best drivers as well. You're getting a lot of official content included with this game. So if you're a fan of trucks and racing, why not take a look at this? It looks like a really decent game, in a niche market, at a really good price. And hey, if you've never played a truck racer before, then if you like racing games and you're looking for something a bit different, why not check this out? It looks really decent, and it's at a good price, so why not take a look? Up next we have For the King. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and is on a 75% discount for the price of £5.99, which is pretty good. This is a roguelike turn-based strategy game, where the king has been murdered, and the kingdom is in chaos, so the queen is pleading for citizens to rise up and stem the rising doom. It features procedural maps, quests and events, with 3-player offline and online multiplayer as well. As far as roguelike games go, this looks really different and unique, and way more interesting than most roguelike games look like to me. So if you're a fan of strategy games, especially the turn-based variety, then you should really enjoy this game, as the roguelike elements is really different, and it makes the game very unique to play. So you should definitely check it out if you're interested. And if you've never played a roguelike game before, then you might want to check this one out because it's really unique, but there are others you can get on better deals, so take a look around, you'll have plenty to choose from. We have a fantastic RPG next, Greedfall. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and is on a 75% discount for the price of £11.24, which is a really good deal. In this game you get to explore uncharted new lands as you set foot on a remote island filled with magic, riches, and lost secrets, while meeting and recruiting many companions that react to your in-game decisions, making some happier or angrier depending on your actions. It features a complete character customization, gender, appearance, abilities, spells and skills, with a deep RPG system that can be changed at any point, with multiple ways to play and complete quests and story objectives, with 2 story endings to experience as well. There's an absolute massive amount of content in this game, and it's really good. Everyone that played it loved it, and they had rave reviews when it came out. If you're a fan of RPGs and you haven't played this, you should definitely check it out. It's a really great game. And hey, if you've never played an RPG before, this one's a little bit more expensive than some of the others, but it's worth it. It's a really good one. If you've always wanted to try one, why not try this one? I'm sure you'll have a really good time. We have a unique game next, Manual Samuel. It was released in 2016, so it's 6 years old, and is on an 85% discount for the price of £1.19, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal. In this comedy adventure, you are a spoiled rich kid, Samuel, who is dead, but luckily made a deal with death, so he can live if he survives 24 hours doing everything manually. That includes blinking, breathing, driving, working, and more. So can you survive the 24 hours? It's time to find out. This is a really quirky and different game, with a lot of humour. It's very unique and different, so you should take a look at it if you like the sound of that, and you'll probably get an idea of whether it'll appeal to you or not. But if you like that sort of humour, and this weird gameplay and game style, you'll probably get a lot out of this game. So take a look at it in that case. We have an action platformer next, Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight. It was released in 2017, so it's 5 years old, and is on an 80% discount for the low price of £1.89, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really cheap game. In this game, the priestess Kaho inhabits a cursed land in decline. Evil is spreading, the dead are rising, and corruption reigns. An audience with Her Majesty the Queen would surely save the land, but time is short, and each night is darker than the last. This looks like a really cool retro action platformer, so if you're a fan of retro games, or you like action platformers in general, this looks like a pretty decent one, especially at this price. You'll probably want to check it out. And hey, if you've never played an action platformer before, then you can't go far wrong with this game. It looks really cool, and it's really cheap as well. You might want to check it out, especially if you like the sound of it. We have a third-person RPG next, Risen 3 Titan Lords Enhanced Edition. It was released in 2015, so it's 7 years old, and is on an 80% discount for the price of £3.19, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal, as this edition includes enhanced graphics and all 3 DLC expansions as well, so you're getting the best version of the game, with a load of extra content as well. This game is set in a world abandoned by the gods and full of enemies and dangers, as you awaken robbed of your soul, and now you'll need powerful allies to rise up against the Titans. It also features a branching story based on your decisions, so there's a lot of replayability in this as well, and to be honest, for an older game, the graphics actually look pretty decent, and it looks like a lot of fun too. I'd never heard of this game before, but it looks really good and decent, I gotta be fair, and at this price, it's a steal. It looks like a really good quality RPG at a really good price. If you like third-person RPGs, you should definitely take a look at this one. And if you've never played one before, then why not take a look at it for this price, because you're getting a lot of quality for your money. We have a VR game next, Robinson the Journey. It was released in 2016, so it's 6 years old, and is on an 80% discount for the price of £4.99, which is really good. There's no move controller support for this VR adventure, which is a shame, but it doesn't matter anyway. This is a really great game, and it being in VR makes it really cool. As you play Robin, a child whose escape pod crash lands on an alien world. Alone and scared, you must explore the dinosaur-infested jungles with your AI friend Higgs, searching for other survivors to help you survive and call for help. This was a launch game for PSVR, and I had it, and I completed it, and I absolutely loved it. Even now it's one of my favourite VR adventures, as you get to see some awesome dinosaurs, which can be both cool and scary. I mean, you haven't lived until you've been chased through a jungle by a velociraptor pack, that's all I can say. And even though I've completed this game, I still use it quite often to put my friends in, because them getting to see dinosaurs in VR is a really cool experience. Even if they've never played a VR game before, it's quite fun to show them some dinosaurs. In any case, this game's awesome, absolutely love it. If you've got a PSVR headset and you haven't played it, I'd recommend it. It's one of the 5 games that's not compatible with PS5, so you better get it now and play it while you still can. SaGa Scarlet Grace Ambitions is our next game. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and it's on a 70% discount for the price of £7.49, which is pretty good, especially for a JRPG as they're usually pretty pricey. In this game, mankind has built an empire to combat the fallen god Firebringer and defend humanity. But after a millennia of fighting to defeat him, infighting has broken out amongst the survivors, and now it's up to you to forge a new future for mankind. This may not be from one of the biggest JRPG franchises, but hey, it looks really good, so if you're a fan of JRPGs you should definitely consider it, as you may really enjoy this game. But if you've never played a JRPG before, then I would say start elsewhere, because you can pick up some legendary AAA ones at about the same price or cheaper, which is a much better place to start. Just be warned, JRPGs are really engaging and they take hours and hours to play, which is a great thing, but don't complain when you love it and you just lose days and weeks to them. They're totally worth it though, definitely take a look at one of them. Up next is my Star by Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old. and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £8.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal. In this third-person action adventure, you get to play in an epic story as an abandoned Padawan who must find a way to complete his training, develop new force abilities, and master the lightsaber, all while staying one step ahead of the Empire. This game was beloved when it came out. After all the rubbish Star Wars games that have come out lately, this was a shining star amongst the rest. It's a really good game. It's like a cross between Uncharted and Dark Souls, which should excite you because it's not as difficult as Dark Souls, but it's got a really good action-adventure story with some really good combat. So if you're a Star Wars fan or you like lightsabers, definitely check this game out. You'll love it, I promise. And hey, if you've never played a Star Wars game before, or a third-person action-adventure, then you'll really enjoy this game if you like Star Wars. And if you're not a fan of Star Wars, you'll probably really enjoy it anyway, but there are other options for you as well, so you could take a look if you're not sure. In any case, it's my star buy. It's a phenomenal game, well worth checking out. Definitely take a look at it. More VR next. Titanic VR. It was released in 2018, so it's 4 years old, and it's on a 50% discount for the price of £7.99, which is pretty good. This VR experience has move controller compatibility, which is great. It makes it really fun to play, as you get to explore the wreck of the Titanic, to salvage artifacts in the story mode, or take guided tours of the wreck, and even view a reenactment of the sinking of the Titanic as well, which is great. It's got a lot of features included. I own this game and I've completed it, and I really enjoyed it. The story mode is pretty cool. It's really creepy and eerie exploring the ship, and finding the artifacts and then taking them back and cleaning them up and looking at them is pretty fun and interesting. And I gotta say, the guided tours are phenomenal. You learn so much about the history of the Titanic, and it's really creepy as well. Having the tour in the ship as you're going around the sunken wreckage is just unbelievable. You won't get this experience anywhere else. The only thing that's a bit meh is the reenactment of the sinking. It's not that it's bad or anything, but it's pretty simplistic, and it's clear they didn't want to panic or scare the people that experienced it, so I imagine it was a lot worse in real life than they showed it here. But it's a nice little addition, so you might enjoy that. In any case, if you love VR experiences like I do, this is a really good one. If you like the Titanic, or like the idea of exploring a sunken ship, you should definitely check this out. It's fantastic, it really is. And the final game I have for you is Valentino Rossi the Game Digital Deluxe. It was released in 2016, so it's 6 years old, and it's on an 85% discount for the price of £4.49, which is dirt cheap, especially as this edition includes 7 DLC, 10 avatars and 2 themes as well. So you get a lot of extra content for this price, which is ridiculously good value. This is basically a specially themed MotoGP game that includes the MotoGP 2016 season content, along with the additional historical MotoGP champions, featuring flat track races, drift competitions, rally challenges, and of course Valentino Rossi content. Basically one for fans of MotoGP that like Valentino Rossi. So if that's you, and you don't mind it being an older edition of MotoGP, check it out. And that's all the games I have for the Games Under £20 PSN sale. What did you think of the games I picked? Did I pick good ones? Did I pick bad ones? And what about the star buy? Did it deserve it? Or should some other game have got it instead? Leave all your complaints down in the comments and we can talk about it later. I hope you guys found some games you're interested in, but more importantly I hope you guys saved a lot of money. I'll see you guys in the next sale. Au revoir.